I know you can't give away the secret, but I gotta ask.
Hmm.
How y'all get all these guests to invest us, bro? Y'all got 900 people, and then I'm sure LeBron gonna come at the last minute. But like, what is the blueprint
Oh.
for getting guests to be a part of these events? Like, if you don't want to tell, you don't have to. But even when I saw the CJ McCollum thing, which I was excited about because I don't think people realize how great of an investor he is.
They don't.
It prompted me like, what are you doing actively to get these? And I know also, and explain how long it takes for some of these relationships to come through. Like even a Swiss thing on Revolt, that was a work for 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's
Yeah.
relationship. It's all relationships. Honestly, like that's the secret behind this whole situation. I feel like sometimes it takes years. It's like it's like a garden. Some fruits and some crops take years to actually come to fruition, and some take a couple of months or a day.
Yeah.
So you might meet somebody in the club, and then there's an instant relationship right away, or you might have to work at somebody for a couple of years to actually have a relationship with them. But it's all a domino effect off of relationships, like from meeting one person, then connecting with another person, and then connecting with another person, and then of course them seeing enough value in it to actually want to do it. That's always beneficial as well. So it's like the law of inertia. Like once you get hot, you just got to keep the ball rolling, pour gasoline on the fire, and then
Gotta
you
stay
just
hot.
you just attract more energy. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's all personal relationships. We've been able to develop pretty much relationships with everybody. We're at least one degree from everybody, so we can call for anybody at this point in time. Not to say that we can get anybody. We know at least a person that
Mhm.
has a
Mhm.
relationship with somebody. So Diddy, that took a few years to
Wow.
cultivate that relationship. But by the time we got it, we booked them on just a text, personal text. That was it. It wasn't through a PR firm. It wasn't through a manager. It wasn't through, a booking agency. It was just a voice note. And then 2 minutes later, he responded, and that was done. Robert Smith, a person that we got introduced to through Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey, a person that we got introduced to Tabiti.
To
And
be
then
through
through Nicole. So
Nicole. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
domino effect there. Somebody like Rich Paul, building that relationship with a lot of people in LA, on the UTA side and
Spring Hill team.
Spring Hill, and
Yeah.
and it's just a matter of time. I remember when we first had the first Zoom call with him, and the Zoom call was actually just like an introduction. We was doing an episode, and we spoke about a variety of other things that wasn't even planned on that conversation. And then we just, another thing is you got to be in the right places at the right time too.
Mhm.
So we go to a lot of different places. We go to the NBA All-Star game, we go to
Mhm.
the Super Bowl, we go to F1, and all of these different places. This is where the people actually are. So now we
That's
get
not gonna reply to your DM. You got to see him in person.
yeah, so now it's like you can actually see somebody physically. Is one thing to just shoot them an email, shoot them a text, but when you actually get to see somebody, it makes it a more relatable situation where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, nah, I know this person. We have a conversation, we might have a drink or two, eat, and now you develop a real relationship. So pretty much 90% of the people that are on InvestFest are all through personal relationships. Like I said, we don't really go through like booking agencies or managers too much. It's just
Yeah.
more so like, this person, or meet this person directly, or sometimes just DM a person, or different things like that. And one person like Lala Anthony that comes through Terrence J. That's
Mhm.
his
Terrence.
Mhm.
personal friend. And he thought that she would be a good fit for InvestFest. Reached out to us. She was interested in coming. So that was a relationship that he made, and then so it's
Yeah.
one of those
It's a lot.
situations. It's like I said, it's no set science,
Yeah.
behind it, but once again, it just goes back to relationships, something that we talk about all the time.
Mhm.
Always talk about how to build relationships and the art of building relationships, how to cultivate relationships, different things of that nature. And that's how we was able to get all of these people, a lot of people. But yeah, it's just and then of course a platform that we have is tremendous
Yeah.
as far as building
Get
relationships.
value.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
this show, we've met people from doing this show. Earn Your Leisure, of course, because that's a guest every single week.
Yeah.
Assets over liabilities. very useful tool. We've been able to establish relationships with people from that show, or further strengthen relationships that we already have
Mhm.
from that show. So yeah, that's beneficial. Having a show where you interview people is always a good way to kind of establish relationships. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
really that's the deal.
That's the
More
blueprint.
work.
Yeah, it I mean, we say that all the time. Like, you got it when you get in the space, you got to make sure that you're adding value. And so even if it doesn't happen in that moment, just be patient, never take it personal, and keep going. Like you said, you brought up the Swiss situation.
Mhm.
That was over 2 years in the making. 2 years in the making. And that really starts, and shout out to Charlemagne, who introduced us to Nicole, who was a talent manager at Black Effect. She was like, "Look, I know his manager, Mo." So shout out to Mo. I got in
Yeah.
contact with Mo. Every time something comes up, if he's interested, we have some availability for him. It didn't work out. Never took it personal. Every time there was an opportunity, whether it was MSG, I was like, "Yo, this would be great. We're gonna be in New York. It'd be great." Time it didn't work. One time flew out to California in the hopes of sitting down with him, and X passed. And so it was like the timing
Yeah.
wasn't great. It was like, all right, well, when the timing does come, we'll be ready. And as you see, for assets over liabilities, we were able to sit down with him, but still keeping a relationship with Mo, and then figuring out his other manager. Shout out to Courtney. And Courtney, we recognized him because he was DJ Khaled's manager. And then we knew Lenny S was also managing Khaled. So it was like all these people in the same space. So it's one phone call of separation. And then from that, Maverick Carter comes because Khaled's there. Oh, we meet Maverick. And now there's a relationship with Maverick. And so we just keep these lines of communication open. Never really ask anybody for anything other than, like, if you're available, we'd love to have you come add some value. So most people are like, yeah, of course, I want to help. I love what you guys are doing because you are adding value. Even like you said, the CJ McCullough thing, we met him at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
We were waiting outside to go into Chris Paul's party, and he walked over and he was like, "Yo, I love y'all guys." First thing he says, "I love y'all guys."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yo," at the time they had just put out the article that he makes an investment every year. He makes a new investment in his portfolio every single year. He doesn't miss a year of adding something to the portfolio. And I was like, we gotta talk to you. Like, we gotta sit down. And his response is like, I'm not ready yet. Like, y'all are the big leagues. I got to make sure that I have everything in line before I come and sit down with y'all. And I'm like, trust me, bro.
You're
Your
ready.
portfolio speaks
For itself.
You're ready. And so now to have him at InvestFest is incredible. But that was almost 8 months ago, right? So everything happens in its own time. It's never going to happen on your time. Well, most times it won't happen on your time, but it'll happen in God's time. So be patient with it. Keep open levels of communication and be good to people, man. That's the part that gets overlooked. Just be good to people. Be a good person. Be good to people. Treat them with respect. Value their time. And more times than not, man, you'll see a lineup like what InvestFest is, because we've always carried that with us everywhere we go.
It's all about relationships, and sometimes people don't fully understand relationships. And you have to be extremely. You have to think bigger than just yourself. Sometimes somebody might look at a relationship and be like, "Well, I'm not benefiting from this relationship, so I'm not supporting the relationship." But you might benefit off of the intangibles that you don't even realize will come from it. So this is extremely important for people to understand. That's a major part of being in a relationship and building relationships, is to make relationships happen, to be a bridge, and to be selfless. So Larry Morrow is a perfect example of that.
Why you keep adding L to his name?
He's a person that has connected us to a few different people, actually. And he's been a bridge to Mike Novogratz. He's been a bridge to Sean from Spiritual Word, and a variety of other people, where he's never personally benefited from any of those relationships. But it's the intangibles that come down the line that I'm sure he probably will benefit from. But that's not even his purpose of actually making that relationship. So sometimes people don't fully understand things in the moment because they only worry about, like, I gotta eat off of this right now. If I'm not eating off of this situation right now, then I'm not supporting the situation. But in relationship building 101, you have to find ways to make relationships happen, bridge relationships, support relationships that don't benefit you. And that takes a lot of understanding to understand that, because it's human nature, right? Most people in the grand scheme of life, the number one rule in life is self-preservation. That's what humans, everybody has to, you have to worry about yourself first. So in everybody's core, that's their premise of like, how does this help me? But when you fully elevate from that, that's when you can become special. But it takes a special person to fully understand that.